What's up, Sneaky Nation? Sneaky P here, back with all the news after week 2 of the regular season here in our Columbus Aviators franchise in year number 3, where the Aviators picked up a tough loss to the Miami Dolphins on the road. It was a pretty tight game throughout, and the Aviators actually kind of had to come back. They finally took the lead. Things were looking good for him, and then, the Dolphins just put together a good last drive. The Aviators did have a chance at it and moved the ball down the field pretty effectively. However, a few big drops on the drive ultimately doomed them and sent them to a 1-1 record. Next up, we have another division opponent, the Indianapolis Colts, and that's going to be another big game for us. All those division games matter, and if we lose to the Colts, they're going to have a leg up on us in our division. We're going to have to check out how the Jaguars did, the other team in our division that also had a win, as well as the Texans. But we can finally start scouting some players. We really didn't have much of a good draft last year. I'm kind of hoping that will change around this year. So we're going to go ahead and do Unscouted. And again, if you haven't noticed, my method is to pretty much scout the first trait of every single player on the draft board. Now, what this does is allows me to find out who's worthy of scouting further. And using this method, we've really done a pretty solid job of finding very good players in late rounds, including Fitzgerald, who was projected to go undrafted. We got him in the 7th round, and he's been pretty solid for us throughout the season. So this method's worked for me so far, and I'm going to continue to do it because even, when we get to those late round things, you're not really drafting starters. You're drafting bench players and players that you feel like have some future, have some promise, somebody that you could potentially mold into being the player you want them to be. And when you get to that point, position doesn't really matter. You just want to take the best player available. And this strategy definitely helps out a lot with that. Things are going okay, though. It wasn't like a terrible loss. I really wish our defense stepped up a little more. In the 4th quarter on the Dolphins' last drive, they had a 3rd and very, very long. And they did a screenplay and ended up getting the first down. Had that not happened, I feel like the Aviators would have escaped with the victory. Unfortunately, that's not the way things unfolded. As you see down here, the Texans did pick up a win last week, and the Jaguars picked up another win, so things are looking pretty good for them right now. They have control of the division, and our next 3 games are all against division opponents. So this is going to be a very crucial stretch for the Aviators, and they're going to have to step up and make the right plays, not turn the ball over and stuff like that. That fumble that Mariota had was also very, very devastating to our team. As you see, we're actually first in the NFL in offense right now in terms of yards. And Colin Kaepernick once again winning NFC Offensive Player of the Week, 15-19, 188 yards. A passing touchdown, and again, 2 more rushing touchdowns, 111 rushing yards for him. Levy for the Lions with 7 tackles, a sack, and 2 interceptions. Jimmy Smith with 6 tackles, 2 interceptions, and a touchdown. And Andy Dalton, 32 of 54, 430 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. He did have 2 interceptions, though, and he got sacked 3 times, but still pretty monster game from him. We can go ahead and check out the Colts lineup, but first let's look at our division stats again. That's another way we can kind of see what they're doing. Another option for that. So Savage, again, he was okay after being injured in that first week, and he still holds on to the best quarterback rating in our division with 104.2, throwing 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Blake Bortles with 501 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Marcus Mariota, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions for him. Andrew Luck, 1 touchdown, 1 interception in 2 games. And then Blake with 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Running the ball, Bishop Sankey had a monster week in number 2. And that's going to lead him to have the most yards in the division by about 7. Monte Ball right behind him still with 2 touchdowns. Matt Forte, 145 yards. Chris Ivory, 128. TJ Yeldon, 106. So nice 2-man combo that the Jaguars have going on there. And then there's Anton Reed. He is looking pretty solid. 4.8 yards a carry for the rookie. And then Kerwin Williams with 2 touchdowns, and then Mariota had a touchdown as well. Wayne Chapman leading the division in catches with 12. Marlon Brown, Emmanuel Sanders, and Curtis Harden each with 11. Dorial Green Beckham with 9, and Tavares Morgan with 9. Parker Hester, Robinson, and Strong all with 7. Touchdown receptions, 2 for Curtis Harden. Then we're going to have a lot of players listed with 1. So DeAndre Hopkins finally getting into the end zone there. Defensively, Eric Berry leading the way with 22 tackles. Marquestin Huff with 20. This little assisted stat is so wonky in Madden 16. 4.5 sacks for Derek Morgan early in the season. He is really doing a great job of putting pressure on the quarterback. J.J. Watt with 1.5. Going down the list, Ray McDonald now on the Texans. And I don't think he was there when we played him, so they must have just signed him, I guess. I don't know. I didn't notice him before. And then Taven Bradford, the rookie from Appalachian State, getting a half a sack in that last game. Stoked to see that. Kevin Johnson with an interception, Raheem Moore, and Paul Posluszny with an interception as well. In terms of kicking, 4 of 4 for Suckup and 4 of 4 for Mason Johnson, the second-year pro who struggled a lot last year, looking okay right now early on in the season. Let's go ahead and check out punting stats. All right, we'll check out the NFL stats after like week 4 or something. I don't quite know when, but we'll check that out too. Mostly, I really want to stay focused in on our division. We also want to see how the Saints are doing. You know, they won their first game. Let's see how they're doing in week number 2. We have, again, their first-round pick, their second-round pick, and their third-round pick. We definitely want to see them lose, and the Jets are going to beat the Saints. So the Saints have a 1-1 record right now, and that could be considered an upset. However, look at this. Matt Moore was getting playing time. If Drew Brees went down with an injury, that is going to be huge for our team. We're going to have to check that out, see if he is indeed hurt. If he is, those picks have a lot more value. So let's go check out injury report. While we're here, we'll also look at the Colts injury report, see if they're missing anybody. So let's go check the Colts first. And they are missing Tamba Ali. That's actually a pretty big blow for him. Good veteran outside linebacker there. The Saints, and unfortunately for us, Drew Brees is perfectly healthy, which is good. Good for him. Junior Galette, though, is a pretty big blow to that team. Ladarius Webb as well. And then Stingly, I'm not too sure on that one. But he is out as well. So a few injuries over there. But Drew Brees did go out in that last game, and it led to a Saints loss, which definitely helps us out a lot. Let's go ahead and check out the depth chart for the Colts here, see what they are working with. Obviously, we know all about their quarterback, Andrew Luck, 93 overall. Johnny Manziel backing him up. And then Brian Bennett. Still interesting to see the Colts struggling so much with Andrew Luck at the helm here. Matt Forte, you know, another big-time weapon for them, as well as Frank Gore still playing. Lance Dunbar going to be number 3 there. Brian Leonard at fullback. Wide receiver, Dante Moncrief. Parker Hester. So nobody that really stands out in terms of having great ratings. However, we all know Parker Hester is a legit player, a guy that we have to fear because he can make some big-time plays. At tight end, Dwayne Allen and Foria, and Cumberland there as well. King Dunlap going to be left tackle. And scrolling through, I mean, they've got a pretty solid left side of the offensive line there. They also have Kevin Zietler and a rookie left tackle playing over a right tackle, Chance Childers. So this is a very good offensive line, and they should open up a lot of holes for Frank Gore and Matt Forte, and that is something that worries me. I misspoke earlier. I said Ray McDonald was on the Texans. I misread that. I guess he was on the Colts. But a pretty solid defensive line here as well. I mean, this Colts team appears to be a lot better than their record. I'm not quite sure where they're falling off. E.J. Johnson, a rookie from Richmond, going to be starting at right outside linebacker. Vontae Davis, Devon House, Jonathan Banks, Smith, and Ball. Rounding out that core, Sergio Brown, Luis Delmas behind him. And then they have Eric Berry at strong safety. Again, I'm not quite sure where the talent is not getting it done from, because they got a great offensive line. They got some great running backs. They have a great quarterback. Parker Hester's a big-time threat. Their defense might not be all that great, but they definitely got some guys capable of making plays. I'm not quite sure where they're falling off, but you know, it is going to be a road game for us, and it is a division game, and we know they have a great quarterback, so this could go either way. You know, the Aviators haven't really knocked the socks off of anybody yet, and any tough division game, you know, this could really hurt us if we lose, so it's going to be important for the Aviators to get a win here. Guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed. Smash that like button if you did, and I'll see you guys in Week 3 as the Aviators take on the Indianapolis Colts. Later.